Hey, what's up, GRE lovers? Today what we are going to do is we are going to look into a normal distribution curve. So this video was basically requested by someone on the Facebook page. Someone was actually sharing some questions. I believe they were from Manhattan. So he was basically asking for explanation. So I was like, okay, before I actually describe the questions, I think that I should do a small video on the concepts of normal distribution. So here we go. So in order to understand what this graph or what this normal distribution, this bell curve really means, I think the best way to understand this is to come up with an example and start arranging the data so that it makes much more sense. So let's say I have a total of 100 candies. Okay, we have 100 candies and the average weight is 1 ounce. Okay, and the standard deviation is 0.25 ounce. So if I want to arrange this data, what I can do is go in the center where average lies at the 50th percentile, and I can simply say, okay, 1 is the average. And if I move to the right to the second line, this second line basically tells 1 standard deviation above the mean. Now what does this really mean? This really means is if I take the standard deviation and add it to the mean, I will get 1.25, and 34% of the data, this area right over here, has values which will be between 1 and 1.25. Okay, similarly I can move to this line and say this is 2 standard deviation above the mean. Same process, I add another 0.25, I get 1.5, and this percentage basically tells me that this area from this line to this line, this area right here, has 14% of the total, which have a weight of 1.25 to 1.5. Okay, and I can just do the same process to the other side. Basically it's a symmetry. This is 1 standard deviation below the mean, this is 2 standard deviations below the mean. I can just do the process quickly. I subtract 0.25, I get 0.75. I take out a 0.25, one more 0.25, I get a 0.5. And now we have a pretty good understanding of how these absolute numbers are arranged, what these lines mean, what these percentages mean. One thing that I need to highlight further is these percentiles, the positions of these absolute values. So if I start from the left, okay, 0.25 is basically at the second percentile. 0.75, just add 14 plus 2, is at the 60th percentile. 1 is at 34, is at 50th percentile. 1.25, add another 34, is at 84th percentile. And 1.5, add another 14, I get 98th percentile. So 1.5 is at the 98th, 1.25 is at the 84th, 1 is at the 50th, 0.75, 60th, 0.2 second. So now that we know what these percentages and what these lines and what these percentiles mean, I think now we can combine these concepts to come up with questions. So if my question is, okay, so if the question is asking, okay, how many values or how many candies exist that have 0.75 ounce weight and less? So all I have to do is combine these two percentages, which are basically 16, and I can just multiply with the total 100, I'm gonna get 16. So 16 candies exist in a manner that their range is 0.75 ounces or less. I can use the percentiles and say, okay, so the value which is at the 98th percentile and the value which is at the 50th percentile, how many candies exist between them. So I can kind of like do the similar process, but this time using the percentiles. Okay, I'm like, okay, what is at the 98th percentile? So the 90th percentile is right here, 1.5. This is one extreme value. And then I'm like, okay, where is the 50th percentile? The 50th percentile is 1. Now all I have to do is combine these two percentages. 34 plus 10 is 44. You add another 4, you get 48. All I have to do is take 48% of the 100, and I have 48 candies that have values in weight which are between 98th percentile and the 58th percentile. So guys, this is pretty much it. I'm gonna come up with the solution of the questions in the next few moments. Probably my next video is going to be about that. So the basic takeaways, or the bottom line, is that if you have a clear-cut understanding of what these percentages mean, what these lines basically mean, these percentages, what these line mean, what these percentiles mean, you can basically combine these concepts and try to extract data. So okay, this is it from my side. This is ABD signing out, and I'll talk to you guys later.